Limited. Thank you for taking the time to join our robotic solutions for semiconductor and electronics industry webinar. Our speakers for today will be Clement, Area Sales Manager from Mobile Industrial Robot, and Zen Tan, Solution Sales Manager from Host Private Limited, Sonapa Group, Singapore. The agenda for the webinar will be brief walkthrough Host portfolio, followed by an overview of autonomous mobile robots, robotics arms solutions and its benefit to the semiconductor and electronic industry, and lastly will be the open Q&A sessions. If you have any questions, please type in the chat box and our presenter will respond at the end of the presentations. Lastly, this webinar is being recorded and it will be available to attendees upon request. Before we start, we request everyone to be mute and the webinar is being recorded. I would like to pass the session over Zen from Host, who will be sharing the company profile. Thank you. Zen, over to you. Zen.
Hello, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, sure. A very good morning to everyone. Sorry, just now my mic was on mute again. So I'd like to thank everybody first to take your time off to join us for this webinar. I know that during this COVID period, I think there are many webinars going on. And I hope that you guys can learn something from this webinar and maybe can look for us, me and Clement, if you have any doubts or any queries. Right, so I will just jump right straight into it and start. So I'll start off with Host company profile, and Clement will go through solutions for MERA, which is autonomous mobile robot. And I'll go through something on the cobots portion, and we can have questions and discussion. Right, so Host. So I think quite a few of you might have heard of Host before. For those that have not heard of us, we actually started in 1979 by our founder, Mr. Ho Soo Tin. That's why our name is Host, H-O-S-T. So back in 2014, Sonapa actually bought over the whole of Host. And in 2018, we changed our logo to actually signify that we are actually growing and also to have more commitment to our customers in terms of our value propositions. A short sneak peek of Sonapa. Sonapa is a French company, and in 2019, they achieved 24 billion euro globally, and there is 145 different operating companies in the world. So for Host, we are one of the operating company here in Singapore, and in Singapore we have 4 different operating companies doing slightly different things. So currently for Sonapa, we are still the world leader in terms of B2B distribution, in terms of electrical products and solution. So for Host, this is a short video on our company profile.
3 decades of experience in industrial automation has made Host, part of Sonapa Group, the trusted and leading partner of companies looking for holistic solutions to their industrial needs. Businesses like yours no longer need to rely on expensive and cumbersome manual processes. With our cutting-edge solutions on carbon footprint reduction, energy management, production and operation, smart manufacturing, robotics, network, cybersecurity, and we deliver customer-centric value to address evolving business needs. Get work done quickly. Contact us today.
Okay, so Host have grown quite a bit since the past few years, and we have been in the automation business for more than 30 years. Averagely, we achieve about 24 million in terms of sales performance, and we also hold inventory for our customers. We keep stock for those fast-moving items when customers require it urgently. And we have more than 25 employees, and we are growing. So for hosts, these are some pictures of our office. We actually have a training facility here. You can come over to our office to do some testing together with our technical consultant as well, if you have new applications for robotics or even for the PLC portions. So this is the most important slide. It's all our different solutions that we offer. I'll start off with the top left. So we start off with Internet of Things. Right, so for us, we actually focus a lot on control automation. So we are the exclusive distributor for Rockwell, and we provide like PLCs, HMIs, SCADA softwares, fault tolerant servers as well. For analytics portion, we are able to provide solution like dashboarding, machine learning for some of our OEM customers. Robotics, yeah, so we provide industrial robot, collaborative robot, and autonomous mobile robot solutions. Coming down, carbon footprint reduction. We are the distributor for ABB motors, so we provide high efficiency 𝐼𝐸3, 𝐼𝐸4 motors. Smart lighting, we are the distributor for Daylight, so we also help them to come up with smart lighting solutions. Motor control, we have MCC, MVs, low voltage drives. Coming to the right, industrial network and security. We are actually in line with Industry 4.0. So anything that you require data transfer, you require a network, right? So we provide wireless and wired kind of solution in terms of cabling or that kind of wireless network infrastructure. Cybersecurity portion, we provide data diode, firewall. We have also CTD, we call it, which is continuous threat detection solutions. Lastly, we are able to help our customers to do some services in terms of security posture and risk vulnerability assessment. So to make sure that all these solutions are able to achieve these kind of different solutions, we hold all these brands. So mainly you see Rockwell Automation. Stratus is the high availability and fault tolerant servers. 𝐴𝐤𝐴𝐚 is a wireless sensor using LoRa technology. So MERA, which is the autonomous mobile robot. And for collaborative robot, we represent Hanwha here in Singapore. And other main brands over here. So some of the services that we have, I'll just go through just a few. Connected services, we are able to help our customers to have ad hoc on-site kind of troubleshooting. We provide preventive maintenance kind of contracts with our customers and 24/7 standby, 4 hours response time kind of contracts. For industrial asset management, so we are able to put parts in our end user or SI location. So every time that they use or utilize the parts, then we will charge them accordingly. So it's more on a consignment basis. Modernization, we can go into plants, looking at your old systems, and we help you to modernize, upgrade to a newer one. We also provide training classes, like just now what you've seen in the picture. There's also web-based one as well, due to the current COVID situation. Right, so we actually moved to this building. It's at 101 Eunos Avenue 3. It's still nearby our old locations, but now we've taken the whole floor of this building, and we join up with our 3 other opcos in Singapore. Okay, so this is a very quick summary about hosts. I'll pass it over to 𝐴𝐚𝐿, and he will go through the details about the MERA. 𝐴𝐚𝐿, you can take over the screen.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Zed. Yep, I'm 𝐴𝐚𝐿. I'm from MERA. We have an office in Singapore as well. We are located in Science Park. So for MERA, a better way. Why is it a better way? This is the biggest question. So I hope the biggest takeaway from this session is to know about MERA. How can it better facilitate in terms of the material transport processes in this modern and let's just say new norm society. Let's go, because the topic today lean towards very much towards the electronic industry production side. So it's always a topic about lean manufacturing. So when we talk about lean manufacturing, right, I believe now you walk into any production facilities right now, or even the back end part of it, these two pictures tells a lot. It's a very common sight that you will see. So when we talk about lean manufacturing, right, it's always a topic about stable production schedules. But if we are using humans for material transfer, humans being humans, we tends to at times touch wood fall sick. Also, yeah, we are emotional creatures also. So does it really ensure stable production schedules? That's one. In terms of safety wise, if you look at the photo below, where this lady is looking at the right side, the boxes actually block her line of sight already. She's not looking in front. If somebody on her left is walking along the path, and there's a potential risk of crashing these trolleys onto her colleagues. And we talk about reduced costs. Well, in Singapore, the cost of labor is pretty high as well. So is it really cost effective by using humans for material transfer? Is it really that agile? And does it really offer high flexibility? So, well, this is something which we need to ask ourselves in this current world. Are we really adopting to lean manufacturing? And then we come into Industrial 4.0. So Industrial 4.0, we always talk about autonomous system, right? Collaborative system where human and robots or machines can coexist in the same workplace together. Next topic is they coexist in the workplace together safely. Yep. Then also how flexible it can be, and add on to that is connectivity because of all the data required to analyze how to better to better a process to make it more efficient, and thus the productivity increases. For humans, what kind of data can be collected? Actually, to me, is really minimum or nothing. Yeah. Then comes to the new norm. Because of the COVID situation, a lot of processes needs to be changed. Yep. Such as, but however, I can correlate these to some terminology used in Industrial 4.0. For example, autonomous system, right? Means less or no labor, no humans around. So actually, it actually cultivate an environment where there is lesser kind of infection, right? And in the case where there is some process, or there are some processes that humans need to be involved, can we, use a robot for certain processes in between so that it become collaborative, and this also ensures some social distancing between humans, right? And safety wise, well, if you use some machines or robots in between, it also increases the safety to the workforce here, so that infection is really brought to a very minimum probability. Data analytics. Now, if we go to any shopping malls or place, you need to do a safe entry. Similarly, by using some robots or machines, there's a data collected, and you're able to analyze this data as well. Then, of course, in terms of flexibility and scalability, I think a robot can be very flexible and scalable as well. So that comes to why the topic of a better way, because for MERA, right, we are actually the world's leader actually in producing the safest and reliable autonomous mobile robot. We actually focus on developing this robot very much in terms of a collaboration, adaptability, because we do not want the users to change their environment or infrastructure too much in order to use the robots. That doesn't make really a lot of sense to us. And of course, performance as well, because performance is always the key indicator to whether the robots is justifiable or not. Yeah. So in this picture, quick show, MERA 100, MERA 200, MERA 250, MERA 500, and MERA 1000. It has a payload ranging from 100 kilogram all the way until 1,000 kilogram. So these are the members of the AMR for the MERA family. A lot of people has been using this term AGV, Automatic Guided Vehicle. So what's the difference between the AGV compared to AMR? So a AGV is typically an older kind of technology which requires tracks such as the magnetic strips, right, on the floor or wires so that it will guide the vehicle along. But for AMR, which MERA's developed, effectively we don't need all these magnetic strips on the floor or wires. Yeah. So for AGV, right, basically you will stop at any obstacles without possibility to change the route, whereas you really need to remove the obstacles. If not, you will just stuck down there. Whereas, right, for AMR is able to safely travel around people and obstacles and reach to the destination required. It is also easy to expand for AMR compared to AGV, because AGV wise, if you want to change the route, yep, or expand, you probably need to change the magnetic line around to a different route. So that creates some, let's just say, changes to your environment, work environment. AMR don't need that. Of course, AMR is more flexible and navigates dynamically while planning its own path, whereas the AGV, right, is very restricted to what is on the floor, yeah, and very controlled as well. We term ourselves the best in this class for safety because we are in compliance with a lot of standards like EN 1525, 13849, and 56.5. The reason because we are using two types. In fact, we are one of the very few makers. We used to be the pioneer, but in fact now we are very few makers in the industry that has two safety scanners scanning 360 degrees for collision avoidance. Yep. We also have two 3D cameras to detect overhanging objects of a height of 1.7 meters. So we also have proximity sensors at each corner to detect for some feet detection or pallet detection. In terms of applications for the electronic industry, right, it is a very common sight to see cassettes, box, or foam. Yep, all these are really to transfer all the wafers. But you look at the current practice, which I pretty like this picture because it's gray out. The reason why I like this picture is because if you look at the current practice, right, all these operators, they are actually using a trolley to move all these cassettes, box, or foam of wafers around. There are cases where, due to some accidents where the trolleys have been knocked over and all these wafers have been broken. So recycle process is expensive as well. But worst case scenario, it goes to reject, and that actually is worth thousands and thousands of USD for just one box of wafers in there. But for MERA, we actually have solutions to that. We are able to build a conveyor to transport all these cassettes box, and we also able to integrate a robotic arm on top of our MERA for such processes as well. And for our MERA, we also know that for electronics industry, right, there are some requirements for the environment. So not fear, MERA 100 and MERA 200, we are actually clear room classified to ISO 4, which is equivalent to class 10. For our MERA 200, which is the gray one, is also ESD approved and certified. So essentially, these two models are really made for electronic industry environment. Just to like to show you on how the MERA works in a typical production environment. Please enjoy the video.
Imagine a fleet of collaborative mobile robots that could optimize your workflow, increase productivity, and reduce costs. What if it was 100% automated and could collaborate with employees? And what if it was fast and easy to integrate into any type of factory layout? Sounds like something from the future, right? Actually, it isn't. Let me introduce you to Mobile Industrial Robots, MERA, an efficient and flexible mobile industrial robot solution. So how exactly does the MERA fleet work? Let's have a look. Now the employee here would like to send the item he's just finished working on to the next production line. With the press of a button, a MERA robot is summoned. Once the button has been pressed, a signal is sent to the MERA fleet management software. The fleet management software runs behind the scenes and manages all the MERA robots. The system automatically instructs the appropriate robot to navigate to the source point. The item is placed on the robot and is ready for transit to its destination. The robot drives 100% autonomously and can easily navigate around obstacles on its way. The fleet management software automatically adjusts traffic in real time, ensuring that everything runs smoothly and efficiently. Now the robot has delivered the item to its destination. If there's nothing else in the queue, the robot can be set up to automatically park in a preset parking spot and recharge. The robots can also be summoned via tablet, automatic communication from production lines, or via your ERP system. You even have the possibility to create rush orders that are placed in the front of the order queue. Because the robots drive autonomously, they can perform complex maneuvers, such as navigating across multiple floors. If a robot encounters an obstacle that it can't navigate around, a notification is automatically sent to the user that an action is required. When the item has reached its destination, the robot automatically sends a notification. The top modules are easy to change, so the robot can be redeployed for different tasks, whether transporting small, medium, or large items. We've got the solution to automate your internal transportation and logistics. Programming the MERA robots is simple. The user-friendly and intuitive interface allows for fast and hassle-free implementation. And you get customizable dashboards that make it easy for you to tailor the interface to your individual needs. At MERA, we know that factory layouts change rapidly. That's why we made it easy to reprogram routes. A few clicks and you're ready to go. It's that simple. MERA is one of the fastest growing companies in collaborative robotics. Our solutions are used all around the world and are helping companies to increase productivity, profitability, and to streamline workflows. Contact us today to learn more about how we can help automate your factory layout. MERA Robots.
Okay, so there's only so much we can show in terms of the animation. But to be honest, today, till date, we have tons and tons of applications under our belt. Flexibility is what we are really focusing on. As you can see, we can have multiple kinds of top modules built on top of our robots. We also have accessories like hook for towing all the trolleys required. Robotic arms, as you have seen just now in the animation. We also can build basic shelves, conveyors, and pallets. So really, the solution viewpoint is really the sky is the limit. So is really what you required, and we can always discuss about the solution behind it. And of course, the new norm also brings about disinfection. So now, in terms of workplace, in terms of some commercial space, a lot of disinfection work has been conducted. It requires a lot of labor work because the frequency is getting very high to disinfect the place. So therefore, MERA together with host, right, actually developed this solution. Disinfection robot is a UVC built on top of the AMR. So effectively, this AMR can be programmed to disinfect your commercial space or workspace. Animation is nice to see, but is it really workable in a real life? We have several testimonies that, again, I'd like to share with you guys via this video. Please enjoy.
The use of mobile robots enables us to implement these optimizations in order to improve our efficiency, productivity, and safety. Our MERA robot automates the transport of raw materials to one of our latest assembly lines.
So we came across the mobile robots from Mobile Industrial Robots. They immediately convinced us with their great flexibility. Since then, Nidec APM has deployed 3 MERA 100 robots. They autonomously transport material and empty containers between warehouse and assembly.
We use MERA as a conveyor belt. We use it to transport our semi-finished products and our finished goods, but from production cell to production cell and from line to line. There are no people involved in producing the high-volume products. This means we are very dependent on the MERA being able to deliver items to a robot, which in its turn can deliver items to the MERA.
We chose the solution from MERA as we saw 3 significant benefits. First of all, because of its high flexibility, that means that the robots can be used in various production processes. Another benefit is the programming, which is easy and intuitive. This means that we don't need a specially trained expert to use it. It can be managed by a regular employee. The third benefit is that it is very user-friendly and easy to use for our employees in the production, where MERA is summoned by a simple click and it performs the program tasks.
So it's really important for us to be able to have the robots automatically open the doors, which was done by a Bluetooth interface. We also needed to get the robots to be able to use the lift. So fleet controller and having the robots be able to automatically control the lift was a really big thing for us.
It gives me an easier workday. And when talking safety, it is much more safe having the MERA 500 drive instead of having me drive a pallet truck. This is especially regarding collision and other things that might happen because we drive so far.
MERA 500 takes its surroundings into account. It detects and avoids the humans walking around, and of course the pallet trucks.
Yep. So these are all the testimonies from some use case. We are also looking forward. There are already many use cases in Asia. Just that Asians are more, let's just say, shy at the moment. But I believe probably next year we will have a lot for Asians as well. So I guess that's the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. Over back to you, Zen.
Okay, thank you, Clement. Let me share my screen again. Maybe Karen, if you can see my screen, can you help me to reply?
Yeah, I can see.
All right, sure. Thank you. Okay, thanks, Clement, for the introduction for MERA. I think in this call, there are some of you are end users, or some of you are SI or OEMs, right? So there's always a lot of questions about effectiveness of these robots. Will I buy something and then it came out to be a white elephant? In the end, it will not increase my efficiency, but still it's just going to be parked there, and then everyone just say, oh, maybe you are very industry 4 ready, that's why you have all these robots, but in the end it is just parked there, not moving, not helping you in any way. So something to that you think about is that for host and MERA, we actually do a lot of POCs for our customers, right? So there are many different kind of applications and top module kind of integration, or even to your ERP system or lift integration. So we have that kind of capability to work out something together with you, and you can test it at your site. So it is always open. If you have any new kind of applications that you want to try out, just let us know, and if we will give you the most probable kind of ways to make it possible for you. Right, so let me continue this portion on the collaborative robots. So for collaborative robots, it's not a very new thing as well, right? And there are many different brands out there. So how can we differentiate ourselves from other people? Maybe I'll go through some history about collaborative robot, and I'll go through the applications. Okay, for collaborative robot, everyone just say it's a cobot. So how it came about is that collaborative and robot. So people just, it's a slang and people call it collaborative cobot, right? So historically, all these robots has been used in the automotive lines, like for Ford or GMC, last time in the US. And all these industrial robots are very heavily fenced up due to safety concerns. So for a cobot, it's able to run at full speed, and you are not worried about any potential danger that it can cause any harm to a human being. So the history about cobots. So in 1999, in Europe, right, there is a law that says that you need to help all those operators into ergonomics, because there's a lot of musculoskeletal disease cases happening, right? So they first came out with a hydraulic kind of arm that actually help you to assist the operators to move heavy loads. And later on, they add in some intelligence, and they put in some motorized parts and become a collaborative robot. So in 2004, all the big robot manufacturers, first they came out with all these different kind of cobots to help out all these operators. So Hanwha itself is a Fortune Global 500 company. They started many years ago, and they are in many different kind of industries like chemical, aerospace, mechatronics, and many more. So for Hanwha collaborative robotics, right, it's under mechatronics division, and for last year they achieved 61.9 billion USD of sales globally. They have more than 67 years of history, and there are many operating companies in the world doing many different things. So this is a lineup video about the collaborative robot from Hanwha. You can see that there is a different kind of payloads and what kind of applications are available. All right, so for Hanwha, there is a HCR3, HCR5, and HCR12. So mainly it is the payloads of each of these collaborative robots, respectively, 3 kg, 5 kg, and 12 kg. Each of these cobots also have a different reach. Definitely HCR12 will have the longest reach, and currently is the longest reach cobot out there in the market. Every time when we sell a Hanwha cobot, it comes with a robotic arm, a robot controller, and a teaching pendant. So for the power supply and everything, it comes from, it need to be plugged in into the robot controller and networks. And for the command and monitoring will be coming from the teaching pendant. So all the different programming and everything can be done on the teaching pendant itself. So I'll go through 5 highlights of Hanwha cobot. So I'll start with easy programming. Right, so for Hanwha cobots, right, it is very easy for you to do the program. You can see from the right picture, it is like a sequential chart that you put in different actions, which is a drag and drop. Like for example, you want it to move from A to B is a movement, or you want the gripper to open and close to a certain degree that you have programmed already. It's a drag and drop kind of a sequential chart. If you are very used to traditional robot programming, right, it can be done on a tree table kind of programming. And for the system itself, for the GUI, you can actually track the running time and power consumption, and all this data are all actually readily available. And the good thing is that you can always see a 3D kind of image of what you have programmed already, and you can see the actual action of the collaborative robot. So we can train an operator in a day. That's simple. Right, in the manufacturing industry now, there is also the thing about high mix, low volume kind of production. So robots need to be repurposed fairly quickly, and we need to have a flexible kind of deployment. So currently, cobots are able to do multitasking. Like we can do a change of tools. So you can do pick and place, you can do inspection, you can do dispensing of glue kind of application all on one robotic arm by just changing the end effector of the cobot. So talk about safety. I think this is very important because this robot is going to stand next to your operator, right? So it can detect external collision, like just now when you see a video, when you just touch it with some force, it will actually stop the cobot. Or we can put in a virtual safety fence, right? That means the cobot will never pass this axis. And this is the parameter setting that you set first. So it will be safe for your operators to stand right beside the cobot and work together. And it achieved ISO 13849-1, Cat 3 PL performance level D. Talking about the fast integration, so on the wrist of the cobot arm, there is a LED light that just now what you see. It can actually show the status of the cobot, if it's e-stop, or is it on idle, is it on active. So this can be clearly seen. There is I/O ports and also EtherCAT port on the arm of the cobot. So it's very easy for you to put in a new end effector or program the end effector from there. And you do not need to lay the cable all the way back to the control box. There's also readily compatible kind of vision systems like 𝐼𝐸𝐥𝐥, 𝐼𝐸𝐴𝐻, Omron, Balmer, all these are their partners. So you can actually put in camera system, vision systems to work together with the robot. There's also pre-programmed tasks already, like loading, palletizing, conveyor, tracking. So all this has been done up by programmers and safe independent already. You can just call out all this and just do minimal kind of programming, and you can start off some applications already. Okay, so enhanced usability. You can actually teach this robot in just 1 minute for different locations. Let me play the video. So traditionally, people always need to set all the vectors for all these robots, like position 1, 2, 3. So you can just pull the cobot to the position that you want, and it will be 95% there already. So later on, when you want to add in your applications or your end effector kind of applications, the programming will be so much faster. Okay, coming to applications, I think this is the most important one because a robotic arm without any effector or any purpose is actually useless. So let's talk about the applications. Palletizing and packaging, so you can actually move packages onto the pallets. Injection molding machines, it can be put beside to do injection molding. Quality checks using vision. Pick and place small items. We can do assembly like screwing. Machine tending, more for CNC machines, you can put in the materials or take out materials. You can do polishing application, dispensing glue and welding as well. So this is a video of all the applications that we actually have or have done and can be able to be showcased. So you can look at all these applications and think maybe how this can apply to your own plant, or you have any applications in mind. All right. So you can see that they can be actually a barista as well. So actually in Singapore recently there is a place that also opened up, and they are using cobots to actually make coffee and also cocktails also. Okay, so this is an application that I also wanted to stress. Is working together with a MERA base and a collaborative robot top to do some different kind of applications, and it uses a 6 vision camera as well here to do pick and place for the different tubes that it's going to pick up later. You can see from the video. Just fair warning that this video is not very well taken because it is a POC at our customer site, right? So you can see that the cobot and together the MERA is able to move to different kind of locations. And actually you can see that there's a plank on the floor and there's slope. So the customer actually wanted to test that it can actually go through a certain different kind of elevation. Right, in this application, they're supposed to use the vision camera to check for different samples. And they're supposed to pick up a tube to take sample of what is in a tank. After which it's supposed to spread some materials. Let me fast forward a little. All right, so actually for robotics, the kind of different applications is endless. So maybe you can talk to us if you have anything in mind that you want to try it out, do let us know. Okay, I'll hand it over back to Karen or Elise.
Yeah, thank you, Zen, Clement. Thank you everyone for attending our webinar today. We now open the floor for any questions from our attendees. I have one question here for Clement. What industries are MERA AMR used for?
Okay. The MERA is typically used in the electronics and automotive industry. That's where our major market share used to be at. But due to the COVID situation, right, there's actually an upswing of the requirement for disinfectant robots. So, in fact, for this year, the vast majority market share goes to these disinfectant applications, and actually the commercial verticals have overtaken these electronics and automotive. But as shared just now, right, it's really, if as long as you need to do some material transfer, you like to automate that process, I think there's always a possibility of deploying MERA AMR for this process. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yep, thank you, Clement. We have another one for, I think this one is for Zen. Is your cobot clean room certified?
Yes, for HCR, for these cobots, right, they are ISO class 2, so they can be used in clean rooms. Yep, thank you.
Right, thank you, Zen. Another question here for Zen. Can host do the vision integration?
Okay, so for hosts, we do not sell the vision system, but we have close partners that help us to do vision programming. We'll work together with the partner to achieve the application that you want, right? Like just now what you've seen, all the pick and place, or tool changing, or you want to have different kind of thing like quality checks. We need to work with our vision partner that we can recommend, and we can try to do out the whole vision system for you. Yeah, thank you.
Right, thanks again, Zen. Okay, we have a question here for Clement. If there is an application to move pallets which require a fork, can the MERA robot be modified to fit the forks?
That is a good question. As mentioned, basically our robots, right, is really made for safety. Safety is always the top priority. So there is a lot of standards surrounding the design of the robots, the application as well. So adding on a fork, it will really, let's just say, does not comply with the safety standards. Therefore, unfortunately, we do not encourage that, to be honest, because it already doesn't serve the purpose of a safe autonomous mobile robot. But we do have applications for pallets that we do have some stations that are able to lift up the pallets to a certain height. That's where my AMR can come and lift the pallets from there. So there is this possibility, but for the MERA robot to be fitted with forks, that is really not advisable. Yep, hopefully that answers your question.
Right, thank you, Clement. We have another question here. Is there any dual arm collaboration application done before?
So I think this question is directed to me. Yeah, we have done and seen from other countries also. So for double arm kind of application, so it depends on both if you require both to be integrated together or both arms actually work independently. What I mean is that, for example, you pick item A and put at B, and once it's at B, the other robot come to B and pick up the item and go to C. This can be standalone, and it can be integrated both in different ways. If you want it to be integrated, no problem, but you might need maybe an external like a PLC to do some data processing of different applications, and you can actually integrate both robots together. Hope this answers your question.
Thank you, Zen. I think we still have 4 more minutes before we end the webinar. I've got one more question here. The cobot used on top of the AMR is using the AMR battery, or does it require external battery?
Okay, I think this is a very good question. I think a lot of people ask, right? For MIR, you can actually put an additional battery in MIR itself, and we can utilize that battery. Or for other applications, right, they can actually have a top module that is removable one, and it can be charged as well. That means there's an additional battery on the shelving that house the cobot, and that can be charged as well. So it depends if you have very extensive kind of application that requires a lot of robot movements, or you can just use the battery on board the MIR to do your different kind of applications. So there will be questions asking will it affect the battery life of the MIR? Definitely it will if you are using the battery on board the MIR itself, but to what extent is about, you still can run about 5 hours. So this is our estimate, but it depends on the application that you have. Yep, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Zen. I think we just have one more question. This one, I think, for Clement. What type of technology is MERA AMR using for navigation?
Well, basically, MERA is using a SLAM technology, meaning to say SLAM means simultaneous localization and mapping technology. Is using a scanner, and by the time of flight, meaning to say the scanner is actually shooting out some lasers out to the environment. There's a sender, there's a receiver. So whenever, if the distance is longer, it is sent out and received, it takes a longer time. But if some objects are nearer, when it's sent out and received, it takes a shorter time. So the algorithm will be, based on the time received, it will actually know the location of the AMR and the surrounding as well. So that's how it actually maps up where the AMR is moving, and also detection of any objects for collision avoidance. So this is what is being deployed and used for our MERA AMR. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Clement. I think that will be the last question that we'll take. Do you have any more? Last few words from Zen and Clement that you would like to share to the attendees before we close?
Yep. So hope that you all learn something and see some applications here that open up your mind to different kind of imagination that you want us to help you to achieve in your plants or for OEM and SIs, right? You can always contact us, either me or Clement or our marketing team, Karen and Elise, right? To ask us to see what kind of applications you'd like us to try, right? We are very open and we can see how we can help you as well. All right, thank you.
Yep. Then probably from my side, I think the key takeaway is due to the COVID situation, right? All this adaptation of automation is really accelerated. So if you guys want to be a leading force in the market, I think automation is definitely essential and a must to adopt. That's why MERA can provide a better way to you. Yeah, I think we leave we are always here. We reside in Singapore, by the way, so do feel free, get in contact with us, and we'll be most happy to answer any of your query. Yep.
Okay, once again, thank you very much. Thank you for joining us for the webinar. We will end the webinar now. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thanks, everybody. Have a nice, safe day ahead. Bye.